The big picture, you go get new linemen. That's the picture, and I'm going to paint it perfectly.
But this is one of the very few times I think he did slip up and he just said something he shouldn't have said. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Jack Frost nipping out your nose. The tree is going up tonight, fellas. Halloween's over, and at least at the MBG residence. We don't do no, I mean, I love Thanksgiving, but don't get me wrong, I'm heading straight to Christmas. I love Thanksgiving, but in my humble opinion, it's just an excuse for people to eat like crap for 4 days in a row. I hope each and every single one of you had a great Halloween. I had a bunch of trick-or-treaters, but unfortunately, I didn't pass out any candy because you can blame that on the College Football Playoff Committee because they decided to do their big-time show, the unveiling of the first rankings, on Halloween night. I had to shut the lights off maybe next year, and like I said, I'm going to be putting out the Christmas decorations tonight, outside in the yard, doing all that stuff, and let me know in the comment section if maybe y'all want to see that. You probably don't want to see it. You're probably sitting there right now going, Matt, what the crap are you talking about? Talk about college football, and I know, I'm getting there. My apologies. We got to talk about a pretty big situation that has a lot of people feeling some type of way about old Deion Sanders, a.k.a. Coach Prime. People aren't happy with this, and I'm going to be upfront and honest with all you at the beginning of this video. I'm not happy with it either. This is the first time, if ever, I've been unhappy with Deion Sanders. I don't like what he said, and I never like to see a head coach throw his team, especially a certain position group, under the bus. It is what it is, and trust me, I'd be the first person to back up Deion Sanders and defend him, but I'm not on his side in this case. But that's okay, and that's just how life works. You're not going to like every single thing that comes out of somebody's mouth. I can guarantee you this much, every single one of you watching this video, you haven't agreed with every one of my takes. With that being said, it is also Wednesday. Why is that important? Because on Wednesday nights, we've been doing our Colorado previews. And this week, Colorado has, you could argue and say, an even tougher game against Oregon State and DJ Ugabaduki. And normally we do a light goal, but you guys have been crushing a light goal, and we're not even going to do one. Come back later tonight, and we're going to do the Colorado versus Oregon State preview. Always look forward to that video, but for now, we got to talk about this situation. Let's just get straight into it. And I do apologize. I meant to talk about this on Monday, but there's been so many other videos we've been making, and I think you guys will understand. Regardless, though, we're getting to the situation now, and you could say this has gone viral because a bunch of tweets got over 3 million views. This is the one that started it all, though. Colorado football Coach Prime addresses the O-line, running game issues, and keeping Shadur Sanders upright. In this tweet, it states, quote unquote, the big picture. You go get new linemen. That's the picture, and I'ma paint it perfectly. What do y'all think about that? And this quote tweet is the one I'm talking about, got over 3 million views. He said, woo, I knew it would get nasty when they started losing, but man, LOL, this ain't gonna make them boys one block for your son. And I don't care what any of you say. You can't say this person that quote tweeted this is wrong. Granted, a lot of people in the comment section were saying stuff like, well, they weren't blogging for him in the first place, so what does it matter? Or you got comments like this. If you tell me I'm about to get replaced, heck yeah, I'm about to start blocking. But the guy who quote tweeted it, Hub here, he had a perfect rebuttal. He didn't back down. I'm sure they haven't been out there for 2 months not trying. The point is kicking someone when they're down, while they're down in public is not going to help them or you in the long run. And hold on. Clap it up, I agree. Look, I know we have a bunch of diehard Deion fans and you're going to be on his side, but this is the definition of kicking a man when he's down. Right after the game, you're talking about, oh, I'm going to paint the picture perfectly. We're going to go get new linemen. Right after the game to the public? Come on, man, Deion. You can't do that. That's one of those things you keep to yourself. Maybe you believe it. Maybe you tell your assistant coaches, but you don't say it to the media. And come on now, we all knew that Coach Prime in this offseason was going to do this. That's not the problem. The problem is you're saying this to the media and to the public. It's the definition of kicking a man when he's down. It is. Here's another good comment. I do like this because it gives you more context and perspective. Patrick said, watch every single press conference after the losses. Don't just watch a clip you saw on Twitter. He said, quote unquote, point the finger at me. We got to do better to put them in a position to succeed. Holding the players accountable is only a bad thing for people who can't handle it. And Patrick's 100% right because Deion Sanders, he is a man. He does take all the accountability. But this is one of the very few times I think he did slip up and he just said something he shouldn't have said. And keep in mind, just because I don't like this, it doesn't mean you have to agree with me. Maybe some of y'all are okay with him throwing these players under the bus. I haven't even seen the video clip, so before we even get going, let's just watch it. I think it's like a minute long, so Matt, roll a clip.
Coach, you mentioned the coaching aspect of it as well.
Yes, sir.
Specifically with the offensive line, I mean, what has to improve in that aspect besides from
The line has to improve. It ain't no aspect. The line has to improve.
Coach, we talked about run-pass balance a lot.
Yeah.
I think it was up until that last drive, you had maybe 7 carries with running backs compared to like 34 passes.
Yeah.
How much of that is a struggle for you guys right now?
Well, it's a struggle to run the ball. It's a struggle to run the ball. and we got to figure that out, because now you're one dimensional, and it's easy to stop a team when they're one dimensional, and that's who we are at this point in time.
Let me pause it right there, last pause, and that's what I tried telling you on the live reaction. It's so easy to stop this Colorado offense, and the reason Shedeur Sanders is getting hit so much is because when you don't run the ball and you refuse to run it, these edge rushers, they can pin their ears back and just go for the quarterback. They're not playing on their heels. They're not guessing where it's a run or pass. They know it's going to be a pass.
Could follow up on that, could being able to commit to that, as you talked about,
Commit to what?
Running the ball. Could that help?
I think we committed to it on a first down, and it was 2nd and 15. Those are the type of things you don't want to do and get behind the 8 ball. First downs are so vital. First downs are everything. I mean, first downs are, when we held them statistically on first downs, it was hard for them to move the ball as well. And when we're getting negative yards on first down, that's a tremendous loss. Because now you know you're going to throw the ball on second down, and they're calling their defenses pertaining to that loss.
I just asked that in terms of the big picture, trying to keep Shedeur upright, healthy, and overall.
The big picture, you go get new linemen. That's the picture, and I'm going to paint it perfectly.
Okay, so there it is, and I go back to this. This is the reason I love him so much. He's blunt, he's harsh, he's going to tell you the cold hard truth, and he's not lying. He's being dead serious. He is going to go get new linemen, but come on now, like I already stated before, don't want to sound like a broken record player here. We knew he was going to do this months ago. He's going to get new O-linemen, number one, and he's also going to get new defensive players on the front 7, and then this team would be pretty dang good. But until then, they're going to be pretty dang mediocre at best. And yet again, I'm going to divert back to this. I don't have a problem with Deion Sanders believing this. I just have a problem with him saying this right after the game. Because Coach Prom, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but these same linemen you're talking about ain't good, and you're going to replace them. They're going to be your same linemen for the remaining of the season, and the season's just halfway over. Colorado is what now? I believe 4-4. You still have at bare minimum 4 games left, and if you make a bowl game, which is going to be hard, you got 5 games left. Check out this quote tweet, and can't even argue with it. You handpick these dudes. That is also true, whether you want to believe it or not. These O-linemen, Deion Sanders, he did handpick them. Here's another tweet that's got right at 2 million views. What the heck is this from Deion Sanders saying in the big picture Colorado will get new linemen? Instead, he should do what his job says. Ooh, about that, getting a little feisty here, and actually coach, in all caps, these young kids, not knocking them down, saying he would get rid of them. Here's my last 2 cents on this, and we'll end off the video here. I do want to make it short and sweet. I understand Deion's perspective on this 10,000%, and I understand how he thinks. He's not patient, and he's made that evidently clear. He's not patient. He wants everything right now, and I like that mentality. Because in this life, you have too many people that are patient when they're in their young 20s. They're like, oh, I'm only 22. I don't need to take life serious. Then they get in their 30s, and they're like, oh, I'm only 30. I don't need to take life serious. And next thing you know, they're 45, having a midlife crisis. Having patience is good in some aspects, but I'd say the overwhelming majority of the time, you don't need to be patient. You need to go, get everything down, get everything fast. So with that being said, I think Deion Sanders has already came to the executive decision and conclusion that these, I was about to say offensive line, but these offensive line players, they ain't it. And he's just giving up on them. He's like, yeah, I don't really care what happens. They're not talented enough to compete with these teams like Oregon and Washington and USC, so we're just going to have to move on from them. He has the mentality of he's not coaching them up because there's no point, and they ain't it, so let's move on from them. And once again, Deion Sanders ain't wrong, because these offensive line players aren't that good. And me saying they aren't that good, just between me and y'all, that's sugarcoating it. They've been pitiful this year, to say the least. However, I do think there's a time and place to say stuff like he said, and this just wasn't the time and place. That's how I feel about the situation. And as far as it goes for everybody being mad about this, I'm not mad about it. I just don't necessarily like what he said. I'll put it to you like this. It don't affect me, so why would I be mad about it? You see what I'm saying? But a lot of people out here, they're worried about the next man's grass. I worry about my own grass. That's all I got for y'all. Come back tonight for the Colorado versus Oregon State preview. I really don't know exactly where I'm leaning with this right now. Definitely going to watch some film later today, yeah. But let me know your thoughts down below about that.